Thursday, Troy. It's Thursday, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of You're Beautiful. And you see the energy, right?
Yeah, I do.
Dude, I long for Thursdays. And you know what's a special day today? Wait, before we get started, everybody, if you don't already know this guy, it's Troy Whitworth. And when I say that, Troy is my co-host on my 8 p.m. podcast, Conspiracies and Mysteries, and you have a double dose Thursday of Troy, 2 p.m. right now, live.
Dude, I gotta tell you what, that energy,
I'm sorry.
if I laugh, it's not rehearsed. It's just gonna come right out. I'm just telling you now, okay?
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, hey, before we get started, it's our first Thursday from Thanksgiving. How was Thanksgiving?
It was good. Got to, hang out with some buddies and watch football, and it was good. It was good. How was yours?
Brother, I'm blessed. Whenever you can be surrounded by family, and that's what this podcast is about. It's about moments and memories. It doesn't necessarily have to be a holiday, but for me, that's when the kids come over and the grandkids come over, and woo, that's where I get the energy from. You know what it's like to keep up with kids from every age in my household, dude?
Yeah, I know.
And you thought the days of stepping on light brights were, remember those little pegs from the light bright?
Oh, God, yeah. Those things hurt.
Yeah. Woo, reminiscing, yo.
Sometimes my dog would eat it, and then I would see it out in the yard mixed,
Thanks, brother.
You're welcome.
I don't think y'all want me to put a picture of that up there? Hey, listen, also, it's been a while, Troy, since I've dedicated a show. And today I definitely want to dedicate this show to Mama G, Mama Guido. It's her birthday today.
Well, happy birthday, Mama G.
You remember Mama G?
I sure do.
Yes.
I'd walk in. She would already get upset because she knew she was going to hear a bunch of hot air. She'd put her pen down, cross her arms, and just listen and wait till I was done. So.
Mama G, we love you. I know where you're at right now. Her favorite
She's probably shaking her head right now because
I know she's not watching. You know how I know? She's at bingo, brother. It's a monster bingo going down in sunny FLA, and that's what she longs for. Bro, I think it was like maybe 7 a.m. I was texting her, telling her happy birthday, right? My text back was, by the way, how cold is it here in Illinois, right?
Oh, yeah.
She goes, it's 54 degrees out here, and I'm freezing. The doors don't open for another
terrible.
45 minutes. And I'm like, well, go sit in your car. But listen, that didn't go well. Anybody who's a bingo player knows. You wait in line to get seat, and you got to get your troll dolls and all your different things ready for the winning season of bingo. So listen, I know the podcast is about You're Beautiful, and here I am, talking about Troy, and I'm talking about my mom, but I promise you, I'm going somewhere with this. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready for some humor? So, Mom, I'm dedicating this show to you, so I want to have a little fun with it. I want to say stuff like, I don't want to, I'm just saying it. You deserve the world. So what I did is I put a little care package of the places that I've not had the luxury or the ability to take my mom.
I see.
So I put some pictures together.
Oh,
you ready for this?
Yeah, I'd like to see
So if you're driving, I will try to narrate the picture. But listen, I'm going to encourage you. If you're only listening, I don't beg you to watch, but today's episode, I'm going to beg you to make sure you come back and watch, because at the very end of this, there's always a purpose. The guy said, I talk so much, but it's full circle. I'm going to show you some Brian Trust magic today.
Really?
The only person who's going to get to witness it right now is you, Troy, and I'm going to show you. Ready? So here we go. Mom, I want to take you around the world because you deserve it. So here, my first picture is... How cool is that? So for only my listeners right now, I put my mom on Mount Rushmore. Isn't that cool?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Hey, how about a little bit of an African support? The power of AI.
Oh, yeah.
So listen, folks, if you're driving and you hear the chuckles, we hope that you come back and watch this episode so you can see what we see. I think you're going to like this one. Ready?
Yeah.
By the way, they're diehard New York Yankees fans. So look what I got him. I got him on the kiss cam. George, I should have got a better expression on that one there for you. And who doesn't want to go to Paris?
Oh, no,
right?
That's
so
beautiful.
Check this out, Mom. Wow. On your birthday, I got you traveling around the world here. And then, of course, where did I tell you she's at? Bingo! Now, if I called bingo and didn't have it, please don't throw your troll doll at me. But out of all these pictures, here's the coolest thing I want to share with you. This one is not AI. Look at that. I mean, I never did count, but that's the entire family. Siblings, significant others.
Did you have that on your Facebook page? Because I think I saw it. Yeah.
That's all of us.
My goodness.
At Disney World. Okay.
All those kids?
Oh, my.
Are you a secret Mormon or Catholic or something?
That's what I tell you, Troy. If you ever want to come to the house, just bring bottled water. Because there's something in the water. And did you remember when I was telling you that I have a little bit of a magic trick? Ladies and gentlemen, there's a purpose of why I was sharing this little journey, other than it being my mom's birthday. I want to tell you something, as I tell you all the time. Trials and tribulations, bills not being able to get paid, never thinking that you're going to be able to get out of this. I promise you, Troy, as I stare you in the eyes, they can't see this, but that's a little bit of our bromance going on behind the scenes. Troy, is if you have a relationship with God, He'll get you through it.
Yeah, I think so.
In order to get you through it, you have to believe. You have to have faith. And that's the power of prayer. So here's what I want to tell you guys when I said there was going to be a little bit of a magic trick. For all of you that are listening but not watching, when you see these pictures, when you go back and you see these pictures and you hear where I'm at right now, I did not creep your Facebook. But I promise you this. Not only do I just have pictures of my mom, I also made a picture of you. And you're wondering, there's the magic. There's Troy's expression.
I don't know if you would call it magic.
Yes. Troy's wondering, how could you do that, Brian? You have no clue who's listening to the show. But I'm telling you right now, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to me right now. I created something pretty darn cool. Okay. Are you ready, Troy? Are you the only one who's going to get to see this?
Oh, it's just, okay, you're not going to.
No, I'm going to put it on right now.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay, so they're going to come back, and this is what we're going to do. I want you guys to see this with your own eyes, as right now I'm going to put a picture of you on the screen.
That's wonderful.
Is
beautiful
that,
you.
Is that beautiful? So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to come back to this podcast. If you were not watching and only listening, I encourage you for some chuckles about Mom and George on their birthday hiatus, right? But one of the best pictures was that last one. I just want you guys to know the title of the show is You're Beautiful. So if you're only listening and you come back, I want you to see a heartfelt picture of you to remind you that you're beautiful.
When you came up with that name, were you listening to Gordon Lightfoot? Because I think that's the name of one of his songs.
It was Michael Jackson that inspired me, baby.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, and man, I'm so glad you asked, because it takes me down memory lane. Which actually reminds me of you. I know we're getting off topic again, but you have a podcast coming down the streams, and I don't even know what the name of it is, but once I said memory lane, it kind of makes me think about what you got coming down the pipeline.
Well, it's, do you want me to talk about it or not? I won't talk about it.
You want to save it for
we'll just save it.
Until we do like a debut or what have you?
Yeah.
So listen, ladies and gentlemen, we just did a recap. We're talking about, we hope that you had an amazing Thanksgiving. And I hope prior to Thanksgiving, if you watched the last episode, I was with Miss Jackie, and we were talking about putting our cell phones down and being in the moment with our family and having conversations. Matter of fact, I played a lot of chess. I don't think I won a single game, but I played a lot of chess with my son-in-law and some friends that we had over. And matter of fact, my phone I left in the bedroom, and I thought that was really cool. Unless you were creeping TikTok and you were watching my videos.
I'd like to learn how to play that sometime.
Chess?
Yeah.
Well, dude, you're always...
I mean, I like checkers, but I've never played chess.
A little bit more intense.
Oh, I'm sure it is. I'd love
to teach you. And you know what's really cool about a good game of chess? Conversation. I mean, you're in thought and you're intense. I can go on and on. But you know what? I think it's time for a commercial break. So these way, the people who are laughing and they're tearing from all the pictures... I know, we didn't even do anything yet. But we're due for a commercial, so we'll be right back.
Yeah. At Marquette Catholic High School, tradition is more than a word. It's a way of life. From championship athletics to community service, from lifelong friendships to faith-filled values, Marquette students carry a legacy of excellence. Together, we build a stronger community on the field, in the classroom, and beyond. Marquette Catholic, where tradition meets tomorrow. Visit MarquetteCatholic.org and see why Marquette is the right choice for your family.
You won't find a better health club than Nautilus Fitness Center. More cardio, more free weights and equipment, more classes, a swimming pool, and more. If you're serious about your health and want to make a change, then stop thinking about it and visit Nautilus Fitness Center on Industrial Drive in Alton. Don't fall for the hype you get from the other health clubs. Nautilus is the Riverbend's premier health club. Has been for years and will be for years to come. Get to Nautilus Fitness Center and get started on a healthier new you.
Day by day, oh dear Lord, three things I pray.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
To see thee more clearly,
71.
love thee more
This
dear.
is 1973, bro.
73.
I don't want to tell you my age back then.
Well, it was kind of the hippie Jesus years, you know.
Well, just watching the video, we can see that.
Yeah.
I actually think I recognize her, but I know I don't. But she actually looks like an actress.
She probably is.
Okay. Hey, we're back. We go to commercials. We're talking, right? We just come back live, and guess what we're still doing? We're talking. Where's the energy from? I don't know.
I don't know, but you always have it.
I know, but I didn't even let you speak the first 15 minutes. So how
No,
about
that's all right. I don't, I looked at some of your shows before I came down here, before you asked me to fill in.
Hey, I got more than one watcher then, so that's two. You and Mom. I appreciate that, Troy.
I don't know what I can bring. I'm like the substitute teacher that the class says, okay, this is a blow-off day because, I'm the substitute. And I don't know what I can bring to this other than you asked me what, some of my favorite parts of the Bible are. And I told you there was the Beatitudes. And that's in Luke and Matthew. It's basically Jesus telling us how we're going to be either rewarded or what. Like he's thinking of us, the things we go through. And my big thing is humility in life. Okay, I can't stand anyone that puts on airs, and believe me, that happens a lot in church also. But the very first one is, blessed are the poor in spirit. Now you think about all the things he could say. That's the first thing he says in this. Because we are all, spiritually deficient to some degree. We still have to live here on earth. We can't be up in heaven rejoicing all the time, right? So we're still deficient here. It says, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. So I guess what he means by that is that, don't ever think that you're so unbelieving that you cannot be thought of or have a place in the kingdom, okay? And that's a very important thing, this blessed are the poor in spirit, because, I'm going to tell you something, and I'm probably going to get some blowback or people mad or whatever, but I don't care. I've told you before that I think a lot of Christians, they go back and forth in their faith,
Well, sure.
I would say to the point maybe that some of them are even agnostic at times.
That's when things are going good for us.
Yeah,
When things
I
are going
guess.
good.
Yeah, right.
A lot of times, and it's unfortunate when I say this, that a lot of times we reach to God when we're at our ultimate low, and it's like the only time we want to reach out.
Yeah.
Hey, please help me pay this bill or get me through this sickness.
Yeah.
So I can understand what you're saying.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I just know, and I don't want to be down on organized religion because I think I probably bleed Baptist, truth be told. But there's a lot of dogma out there, like a fear doctrine.
Sure.
Well, you better better not pout. You better not Santa's not. You better line up. And I don't know how I feel about that.
Do you know I hear that mostly from people who, of course I won't say any names. And by the way, whenever you're a guest on this podcast, I want all of you that are listening to know, when you come on this podcast, it's wide open. It's whatever you believe and hold yourself accountable for. That's your testimony. I am not here to judge. So I'm going to compliment you already, whether you're saying I'm going to piss some people off or this is the way you lean. That's what this podcast is about, because everybody listening and watching don't necessarily have the same views.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to tell people. I like Joel Osteen. I mean, he comes on right before the game football on Sundays, and I don't know. He gets a lot of flack from people. All this prosperity doctrine or whatever. Well, you know what? There was a lot of people in the Bible that were prosperous, that God enjoyed. Okay. So I don't know where this comes from. I don't know if they're jealous or what it is, but and I'm not saying I'm in lockstep with really anybody, but I do enjoy him because it's uplifting. And, sure. When you go to church, you don't want to be beaten down to where you're this, because, again, we go back to the first Beatitudes. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Okay? Don't ever think you're so weak in your faith that you're not thought of, or that you can't get in to where these other people are going. I see a lot of people, it's just like they're so used to cheerleading. I don't know if they are as into it as they think they are. I mean, because I'm telling you, a thinking person is going to have bouts of disbelief in their faith. And if no one dares say it. No one dares say it amongst these people because they're afraid they're going to get ostracized. Oh, well, you need more of this. You need more of that. You know what? Here's what years ago, I used to read the Bible. Back when I was in high school, I saw this guy and this other guy, great guys, and they were humble, absolutely humble. This guy could tear down a house. He was so big. He was a big old football player, and but he was so meek, and he was so meek and humble, but he always took his Bible to class. And I thought, was he putting on a show or what, But no, he wasn't, because it would just be in his book bag. You'd see it in there. And, man, that inspired me so much. I would go home and read my Bible. But like a lot of people do, say, okay, well, I'm going to get through this and it'll be done. Okay, I did my good deed. I'm going to bed. So I think a lot of people go through that because we look at other people. Oh, they're saying that we're going to go to hell if we don't do this.
Well, we live in a society where we feel like we're getting judged all the time.
Right. Well, and I love this. I love this where people say of a certain faith. Well, God doesn't send people to hell. People send people to hell. And I totally agree, because there are so many guys sending other men to hell in their mind.
Right.
Okay. It's not their choice. They're not their creation. Okay. So to even weigh in on that, it's just amazing to me, okay? But anyway, getting back to reading my Bible, and I put it down for a while, and, I would always have this thread of faith and belief go throughout my life as I went into my 30s and 40s. And then somewhere about, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago, I thought, you know what? I'm getting older. I want to go wherever the truth is going to take me. Okay, if it takes me down this agnostic path, then so be it. At least I'm finding a truth there.
Sounds like our 8 p.m. show, but go ahead.
Well,
That's about it, right? I mean, here, ladies and gentlemen, I am terrible about interrupting, but I'm going to do so. Here we are, 2 p.m., and the topic is God and faith, right?
Right.
What's our tonight topic about? The Antichrist.
I can't remember. Oh, yeah.
The Antichrist.
It is, yeah.
So listen,
Seems like that was so long ago. But
yeah, let me just recap briefly, guys. Here's what I love about having a guest on the show. One of the things that I normally would ask somebody, when you're struggling with something and you have faith, how does God meet that? And one of the things I want to pick up on what you were saying, you like Joel Osteen. So whether you're
I don't have a problem with
Bible,
him.
Whether you're watching Joel, for me, is Steve Harvey. I love Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, here's what I'm trying to tell you, and here's what Troy's telling you also. Do not let people judge you based on your faith and belief.
Absolutely.
Your relationship with the one and almighty is an intimate relationship. So my church, Troy, is what I call windshield therapy. My church is every morning when I wake up, I don't care if it's 3 o'clock in the morning because, old man-itis, I got to run to the bathroom. And as I'm running, I'm giving him thanks. Thanks for allowing me to put my feet on the ground. Thanks for allowing me to get to the pisser, okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, to clarify what Troy's saying, if you have a love for God, don't let people fail you, because they will. Stop worrying about how you're walking into the church and how you're dressed. Herbert throwing a shout out to you. Come as you are. You are going there for the word. Now, there's some of us who go there for the coffee and Danishes also. Just saying that for a friend. But the reality is this. The whole purpose of this podcast, Troy, you were talking earlier, and more or less I'm just going to say it. I don't have it all together. I told you I started this podcast.
Nobody does.
And I don't think I cracked the Bible, but
once. But dude, you drive me nuts on this. You've got to not be so. There's a difference between being humble and humility, and absolutely getting on the verge of self-loathing. You need to calm down with that stuff.
Well, I just want people to know that I don't have it together.
Well, okay,
and I
but
have
you
a
don't.
Podcast.
Okay, but
so I want them to know they could do it.
Okay, well, I understand.
If
that.
large guy over here can do it, they can do it. You know, instead of going to the bathroom stalls for a good time, here's the number. I'm like, if you want to go to church, here's my number.
Well,
I'll go with you. Okay, not that that's where you want to find the bathroom stall, but the point is this. The point is, I don't have it all together. We all fall short, but I'm going to tell you this, hands down. If God wasn't in my life, I wouldn't be where I'm at today, period. So now you need to ask yourself, what's going to snap for you to create that relationship? Or have you had that relationship and somebody failed you, and now you're blaming God because somebody failed you? That's what you were just talking about.
Yeah. I'm not going to get into chapter and verse here on these Beatitudes, but I'm just going to hit the core ones. The second one is, blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. So mourning matters. That means you have empathy, or you're sad someone died or whatever. That matters. Okay. Blessed are the meek. Okay. I mean, we're talking about humility. Blessed are those who hunger for thirst for righteousness. I can't tell you, when I was a younger man, how I was so upset with the deception that was going on in my mind and how people were being deceived, okay? And it would just drive me up a wall. I would get so mad about it. And, I thought, well, this isn't doing any good. First of all, people don't like being told what to do. I think people have an aversion towards rules. So anyway, blessed are the merciful. Now, this is a big one also. I've never understood how someone could be cruel, I mean, really. I used to smash spiders when I was a kid. Okay, and I know there's a lot bigger things you could relate to, but like today when I got out of the shower, there's a big old honking spider on my ceiling. And I thought, okay, well, I'm just going to put him in a cup and let him go outside. He's going to freeze to death. So now I got a spider on my ceiling that I can't do anything with, because I don't want to kill him.
Right.
And I don't want to send him out and to freeze to death. But he might, I don't know if it's poison. I just saying, I have a hard time with people that aren't merciful. And I think good Christians feel that way also.
I got to ask, though, before we continue, because like them out there watching and listening, like me, you left one important thing out about that spider. Where's he now?
He's still on the ceiling.
Okay, just have to ask.
He'll probably be hanging out with me tomorrow when I'm taking a shower. Oh, there he is. I mean, I just can't. I think if something is trying to experience this life, it's not up to me to take it unless it is trying to do damage to me. I mean, I would actually. I wish there were some good vegetarian restaurants around here, because I'm getting to the point where I don't know if I can even eat meat anymore. So
I think I was going to say, I want to use the word maturity, but we all develop differently. I actually want to say something. You were just talking about the spider, and I'm also now going to throw another name shout out to Miss Nancy T, because she was teaching me how to speak Jesus over things. Let me tell you what happened to me. I'm driving down Moreland Road yesterday. I'm heading out towards St. Louis. Flock of birds, and I heard one hit the car.
Oh God.
Now, normally, the old Brian would have been like, that's 15 points. You know how tough it is to hit a moving bird. Smart out. The point that I'm getting across is, just like you're saying, man, there's a different Brian where I'm like, I actually stopped and said, God, I speak over this bird. He has a heart. He has lungs. Please, even though I didn't see the outcome, can I speak your name over that bird? And I would never have done that before. And that's how much, not only my relationship with God, but having these testimonies like yourself, if I'm throwing out Herbert's name earlier or Nancy Teague, instead of being a goofball, I had the same sensitivity that I had to ask God to speak life over this bird.
It's funny you talk about that because I know you're originally from Florida, right?
Born in upstate New York, but yeah, pretty much grew up in Florida.
Well, my folks are snowbirds, and they go down there a lot. And a couple of years back, we went out on this fishing boat, and it tour about, he takes you to catch fish, whatever. And I had a problem with him keeping some of these fish, right? I mean, it's really bothered me. And so anyway, we catch this little fish. It's about this long. Okay, I don't know what it was. It was colorful. It had like little spiny fins on it or whatever. Oh. And he put it in the live well. And I thought, what is he going to do with that little fish? And so as we come in, we get into the harbor or whatever, and we get out. I said, are you going to let that fish go? He said, oh, yeah, I'm going to let it go. So we walked off the boat. I see him paying no attention at all to that live well. And I went back. I said, did you let that fish go? He said, oh, no, I'm going to. I said, I want to see you let that fish go right now. I mean, I can't. Over a little
How old were
fish.
you roughly?
Oh, I was about 10 years ago.
Okay.
And so he was shocked, and he went, he let that fish go.
Now,
but it's just like.
We're talking Dad, right?
Huh?
Are we talking about Dad? Is that who you're talking about?
No, we're talking about this guy that had the charter boat.
Just the guy who had the
yeah,
charter boat.
I mean,
okay,
he was.
Because, Dad's coming on the show the next week.
Yes, he is.
I was going to call him
That's
out.
right. But,
so to clarify that, we're talking about the charter guy, not, yeah.
But anyway, I guess the thing is, I was talking about, how I just used to whiz through the Bible or whatever. You get to a point, you say, okay, I'm going to throw out everything. I'm throwing out everything. I've listened to this guy, listened to that guy, I've listened to this guy tell me I'm going to hell. And I've got to prepare to meet God at some point, right? Sorry. So I thought, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the Bible, but this time I'm going to drink it in and enjoy every word that's in it.
Love this.
Now, if you don't, I'm telling you right now, folks, if you don't do that, you are wasting your time. You're going to be like me in high school that just, I did that. You really need to, because you are listening to the Word of God, okay? And you are supposed to digest it as such.
I'm calling this self-love right now. You're, like you just said, it doesn't matter if it's your first time or the current moment. I call that self-love, Troy, because the way you're approaching it right now, where you're diving in and you want to understand it before you move on. Folks, I talk about this all the time. When are you going to wake up, look in the mirror, and remind yourself that you're beautiful? You are worth investing in. Yeah. So I'm so proud of you, bro. Because I'm stages behind you. Whatever word you were saying about me earlier, yes, I absolutely love this podcast. Yes, I keep talking about how I've not read the Bible, but I'm telling you, these Thursdays, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to put it on you, but without this show, I'd be struggling even more.
Well, I would tell you what, everyone struggles with their faith. Like I told you, I think there's almost a shade of agnosticism sometimes with Christians. But I was, Thomas Aquinas, the Catholics borrowed a lot of his stuff. He spent a lot of time observing nature and could see God in nature, right? And he believed in science lining up with faith, okay? Sadly, unless I'm mistaken, the Catholics are the only ones that are preaching that. Everyone else, they seem to have an aversion to when the science and the faith line up. And I'm not Catholic. As a matter of fact, I'm very critical of the Catholic faith. But they've got that part right. Because if you, which is why, and I don't know if I want to get into this or not, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. There was a book that changed my life other than the Bible.
Okay.
A couple of years back, well, actually about 20 years ago, I was listening to Coast, and I listened to this guy who had a bet with his girlfriend that the Shroud of Turin didn't exist. Okay?
Yes.
And she got tired of his nonsense, so she finally said, we're not going to go out anymore. So, I'm not going to go out with you either, so they broke up. Anyway, so now this guy is on a mission to prove this thing is fake. Okay, and the guy's an attorney, so he's got this in the bag. Well, come to find out, he became one of the most foremost scholars, I guess would be the word, of the Shroud of Turin. So they gave the name of the book. Next day I went to the mall. They didn't have it, but I ordered it, and I've read it a couple times. My point is the science lines up with the faith, okay? But sadly, there's a lot of faith guys over here, but they don't want to talk about the science.
So wait a second. So I can get caught up to speed, and I'm a sound naive. So let me just say this. I'm asking for a friend. Is that the reference to Scientology?
No, I think Scientology is this, like we all originally came from aliens or
Okay,
something.
I just wanted to ask because
No.
I want to stay caught up
The
to
Shroud of
speed.
Turin is factual, man. And it's real, and no one can disprove it. As a matter of fact, there's so many skeptics that go in to disprove it, they wind up becoming believers. But you never hear about it at church. I can't understand why they don't do a Bible study or some kind of a study on the Shroud of Turin, because it changed my life, because it wasn't just faith at that point. It was like, okay, this is real. So then I would go back. Like, again, I told you at the beginning, I don't care where truth takes me. Okay, I'm not going to live. I'm not going to live in lie. Okay,
Yeah.
So the truth took me to this book. I went back to the Bible, and then I was really into it, particularly the New Testament. And man, there comes a point where you are just on fire with your faith. But then it wanes a little bit, and then so you've got to be. It's kind of like your teeth. You ignore them, it's going to go away. I mean, you've got to feed that faith sometimes, and sometimes if you got to back it with science, then back it with science.
Well, this is where I want to elaborate. When you say feed it, ladies and gentlemen, here not only am I comprehending what Troy's saying, but I also want to paint a picture to you. You just said this guy was an attorney, doing well for himself, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to get him on our show.
Okay, for 8 p.m. shows,
Yeah.
right? So you're in this relationship. Look at the sacrifice he did to prove his theory.
Yeah.
He walked away, you're saying, from a relationship.
Yeah.
The power of his mindset pursued what he was looking for, and now he's...
Yeah, he was trying to disprove it, and he became a believer. But he thought that if he could take the goods to his girlfriend that showed him the door, that maybe he could, I don't know, get back with it. I don't know. But he became a believer when he was out to disprove it.
But he applied himself.
Oh, God, yeah.
So in the brief, ladies and gentlemen, here's what I'm telling you. No matter what you're going through, and listen to what Troy's sharing with you right now. His current testimony is no matter how many times he's read the Bible, he's diving back in, but you're diving into it with a different state of mind, a full comprehension. You're you're investing in yourself, and this is what I have this podcast for. You, ladies and gentlemen, that are listening and watching this podcast, outside your family, I'm your number one fan, and I believe in you. And there's a guy up there, because I might fail you. You might say, "Trust, don't eat that second cheeseburger," and I might sneak the bite. The point that I'm getting across is, I love you. I might not even know you, and I love you. Jesus loves you. And I'm telling you, you are worth investing into yourself. Like I said, you remember that magic trick I played earlier?
Yeah.
The picture of them? Wasn't that beautiful?
It was.
You guys are beautiful. So as Troy's saying, I call it self-care. How about a little self-care for yourself? And the best way to do some self-care for yourself is by saying, you know what? Trust, I love you, but I already have a relationship with God. Okay, well, that's great. Let's elevate, right? So it's kind of like this. And I know before we go to another commercial break, this was something that's been weighing heavy on my mind. Heavy on my mind. When you were younger, did you ever, before you got your driver's license, say, man, I hope I get the drive. I want to get a car.
Oh, yeah.
There's things in life that you want, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then sometimes you get those things in life. So let me start referring to you, ladies and gentlemen. You've always wanted that car. You've always wanted a job, right? You get that car and you get that job, and now you're like, man, I got to get up and go to work, right? So what I'm trying to tell you is change your mindset. Let's remember to be grateful. Let's have some gratitude, right?
Yeah.
Because you can't ask God for more. If he feels you're struggling and you're complaining, how's he going to bless you with more, Troy?
That's the thing that drives me nuts, and everyone's guilty of the complaining, but, I think that has to do with, it can bring people down. It can just bring people down. If there's no hope, and a lot of times, there's some churches that do that. They will beat you down to where you're like this kind of a, rotten individual or whatever, and you should be getting your beatings, and that sort of thing. And I went to a church like that once, but
you got to remember, you have a choice.
Yeah,
if you feel that way and you're listening to this testimony, you have a choice that when you hop in that car, if that's the way you feel your church is handling you, you got
if you hear about how bad you are and you hear about the devil more than God or Jesus, you need to walk out of that church. Just walk out. Say, you know what? I'm going to go get this right. I'm going to go get fed with my Bible, and then I'm going to peruse a few more churches. But if it's all about the devil and you're kind of a pitiful individual, you need to walk right out. Because I'm going to tell you something. You don't think pride exists with some of these reverends or pastors or priests or whatever? Big time. A lot of them. They can't get over themselves. They're not humble. So if you see a guy up before you that's not humble, like I told you I lean Baptist.
Uh-huh.
When I go trout fishing, there's a little Baptist church there, and I used to love this guy. He was he come in. I mean, the church is vintage 70s. That's probably one reason I like it. Deep blue shag carpet, and it is so. The preacher is this little humble guy, and he's got like a JCPenney sport coat on, and probably a clip-on tie. I don't know because it's down in the sticks, and but it's so humble, man. It's so humble. And I used to feed off of that guy. I would even have conversations with that guy about the apostles afterwards. And I just loved him because he didn't put on any airs at all,
I'm so glad you're saying this because 2 minutes ago it sounds like we're bashing the churches, but we're not.
No.
Because listen, I got to tell you too, I got
choose wisely.
I got a handful of guys that feed me so much, that give me the energy to be on this podcast. So again, to be transparent, stay on this high. Stay on wanting to understand the word, not about the stilettos who's wearing on the stage and the cars are rolling in. When you go to church, you go for the word. Get fed. Yeah. And I'm telling you, it's the power of the positive mindset. I'm going all over the place. But Troy, again, before we jump into a commercial, I know that you had an Andy Griffith clip. Is that something you want me to play first, or did you want to narrate before I play it?
Well, I'm going to narrate just a bit, then we'll play it. But go ahead and take us commercial.
You want me to go to commercial? Yeah. Hey, guess what? That's my commercial break. We're going to go to commercial. We'll be right back.
I set the thermostat so my house would be warm when I got home from work, but the kitchen is still cool.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we stand behind every Linux system we sell.
My dealer said he'd take care of everything.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we understand everyone wants prompt, professional service.
Turns out it wasn't my furnace after all, just a little something blocking the vent.
Pretty smart dog if you ask me. For service you can count on, call Barrett Heating and Cooling.
Lennox, innovation never felt so good.
At Landmark Realty, we're proud to serve the RiverBend area with offices in Godfrey and Jerseyville. Whether you're buying your first home or your forever home, our team is here to guide you every step of the way. And if you're ready to start your dream business, we can help you find the perfect commercial property. Visit us today at godfreylandmark.com. Landmark Realty, serving the Riverbend and serving you.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
So listen, we're back. Normally I have music before we come back in, but Troy said he wanted to touch base a little bit before I play this clip. So Troy, the microphone's yours.
Well, I like to think of myself as just an average Joe who is taking in everything. We're all looking at the same movie here. But I love Andy Griffith, okay? To me, it reminds me of my grandparents going up to Root House, seeing them and how they operated and how they lived, the little Baptist church that was there, and watching Andy Griffith with them. It was so that's my favorite show. So anyway, there's a clip here that we're going to play. It's my favorite episode. And it makes the case of why be so married to the world. Okay, this guy shows up on a Sunday, car failure. No one can fix this car because it's Sunday. And so...
Is that the right clip I'm playing?
Yeah, and so he is reluctantly having to endure this laid-back, relaxed, easygoing town of Mayberry on a Sunday. And it slowly starts to sink in that, you know, this is so much better than my world where I'm going a mile a minute. And this song I love this song, and I love this part in Andy Griffith. So let's watch it.
Go.
Get the volume up.
I don't hear it. No place is so dear to my childhood as the little brown church in the vale. There's a church in the vale by the wildwood, no lovelier spot in the vale. No place is so dear to my childhood as the little brown church in the vale. Oh, come, 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 come to the church in the wildwood. Oh, come to the church in the vale. No place is so dear to my child.
You starting to sing? Is that what I want to sing?
As the little brown church in the vale. No place is so dear to my child.
Love this.
As the little brown church in the vale.
That picture right there says it all. You know what?
Isn't that great?
I'm so glad you shared that. Again, I'm gonna throw another shout out. I had a fella in here. The same thing that you just shared with me. Okay, my car's broke down. You know, life's just moving so fast, and we're witnessing this. And let me put this back up on the screen here because I just love this facial expression right here.
Yeah.
That's just like resonating. Like, hey, all is okay.
Yeah.
And what my buddy was saying, he goes, you know, Brian, here's what I do. I take my shoes and socks off, and I just go stand in the grass. You know, and I just take a moment just to look around, look at the skies.
Yeah.
Just look at things. But it was just so weird, the sensation of not shoes and socks, but just bare feet, and he was just soaking it in, and
oh yeah,
it's going to be okay.
I do that so often. I'm constantly
I'm so glad you shared that.
Enamored with what God has given us in this wonderful world. It, you know, to be distracted by frivolity, which we're all guilty of, is really it's a shame, you know, that we get so distracted.
I think we live that now. Earlier in the episode, you were talking about mourning. I just had this conversation with somebody, honestly, this morning, okay? And we were talking about death. And I look a few decades ago, when there was death, I mean, there was service. There was mourning. And again, not saying names, but even the individual told me today, well, I'm just going to get cremated. It's not like anybody's going to come see me. It's like we're
That's terrible.
Well, but listen, so this is someone that's our age that was saying this. But you are right. We live in a society today where everything's so fast-paced, and we stop. And again, I can't tell you how much. I know you're an old soul, which is your podcast to be coming. I hope people look forward to it. Every music that you have on here is from the 70s.
Yeah.
No, listen, I love that because that's what I call self-care. You don't really care, okay? You pay attention, but it's not like you necessarily care what's going on right around you because right now your focus is on Troy, that inner circle, his faith with God, and you're investing in yourself. you want to know more. You're in the moment. You're resting in the moment, so you know what tomorrow has to hold for you. In such a different way than we talk about, oh, I'm going to get a new car, or I'm going to buy this bigger house. Right now, your self-care is your state of mind and being spiritually right. That's what I'm taking from this testimony.
Isn't it interesting that have you ever come across people that they've reached the end of learning? Yeah, you can't talk to them because they know they know. Yeah. They've reached the end of
like
learning.
Employees, I'm sorry. Did I say that?
But I always thought that you reach the end of learning when you're dead. You know, because when you're alive, you should still be learning things. So
I'm going to learn something new every day. Listen, I love your testimony so much, and I don't really want to put you on the spot, but here's what's crazy. I'm looking at the clock. And it's
went by
going
fast, man.
It is going by so fast. So here's what I want to ask of you. I think you're full of wisdom. I really do.
I'm full of something. I don't know.
So here's kind of how I want to share this with you. I ask all my guests if they would elaborate. Let's just say right now someone out there struggling.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I think we're all struggling. What would you say to them if they were sitting right here with us? If they're struggling and you've got the ability, what would you say to them right now?
I would say go find a Bible and read the Gospel of John. If nothing else, read the Gospel of John. It is my favorite. Actually, it was Jesus' favorite apostle, too. He was the only one, I think, that didn't die from some horrible thing. I think he died of old age. But the Gospel of John, I'm telling you, you can take your miserable situation, whatever it is, you have to realize that there is a God out there if you will, follow him. Little tiny steps. And there's comfort in John. I cry sometimes when I read it.
I love this.
Yeah,
because that's where I need to get. Like I told you, ladies and gentlemen, I told you, I struggle understanding by reading. A lot of times, please go ahead.
There's so much reverence for Jesus with this man. You can in the words. Matter of fact, how it starts out, he has so much reverence for this guy. I think this guy was a follower of John the Baptist before, but. I'm just telling you, the Gospel of John, I don't care what you've heard. This guy's going to hell. He can't pay. He's got tithe. Pick up the Bible and read the Gospel of John. If you can't get moved by that, then I would say maybe just close it up and do something else. But it really appealed to me.
No, listen, I like that. And I actually want to throw something in. Normally I'm asking my guests. I want to share something. First and foremost, I want to go back to what I call the basics. The power of prayer. Okay? I don't care what time of the day it is. I just share with you something very personal in my life that whether I hit the bird or the bird hit me, thank you, Miss Nancy Teak, that I spoke Jesus over that bird. That's something I would never
great, man.
done before.
I'm digging that.
And I felt really cool about it.
Yeah.
Troy and I were earlier talking about church, that sometimes church may rub you wrong, but you have to remember, that's not God. That's people. And like I live off Moreland Road. I mean, that's Church Street. You live off that road too. Yeah. There's so many options and opportunities out there.
Don't let a bad apple ruin the whole thing for you.
Right, because
you will find a humble church that you get spiritually fed from. I guarantee you will.
Speaking of, there's a pastor that I had shared with you. I'm going to start talking fast because we're getting limited timing here. But I'm just going to tell you guys right now. Everybody would think you know what communion is. Okay, so I would see people go up, put the thing on the tongue, and drink the drink. I would never go up and do it because I never understood it. So the pastor recognized that, which I thought was really cool, that he just saw me, just a little nobody. Hey, how come you don't come up? And I told him, I don't understand. You want to know the most coolest thing happened the very next Sunday?
What's that?
He did a discernment on communion.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
He was speaking to the entire church, but I felt like he was talking to me.
Yeah.
When I go to church now, I take communion. So there's a lot of us, folks, this is what I always talk about. You may not understand the process of church. Stop thinking of it as a process. I mean, really, here's one other thing I want to add to it. On Sundays, when you feel that that's the God-given day to go to church and you're around a congregation, outside this podcast where I learn the most, and I'm going to admit this to you guys, and I'm actually very proud to say this, Bible study.
Oh, Bible study is
Bethel
my
Pentecostal
favorite.
Church.
Yeah.
I was surrounded with some older folks, and not that age is a thing, but I have to share this experience with you. They were actually discerning the scripture. So instead of like hearing the message, which you go there for the message and you get it, but like it was a breakdown, like you were in school, they gave you a sheet, you followed along. But what I really enjoyed most is when it was all said and done, you would go around the room and people would give you their understanding of it.
That's great.
I want to tell you what I love so much. I asked so many questions that I had to apologize. Like, guys, I'm so sorry I'm asking all these questions. Do you know, instead of feeling chastised and judge me, you know what they told me?
What's that?
Brian, we love it that you ask questions. We love it the fact that you see it this way. We now, people who've been going to church for decades, get to see a different interpretation from a guy like you.
Jesus said you had to enter the kingdom as a child, so you're doing right.
That's what you want to find, ladies and gentlemen. How much self-care do you want? And at this point, only you can answer that question. And I just hope that every morning you start, once you leave that bed, and you just thank God. And listen, let's go back to the simple things. Thank you for the air in my lungs. Yeah. Thank you for the ability to get out of this bed. I'm telling you this. That's not small stuff, because without air in your lungs, you're nowhere, okay? Oh, yeah. But if you just start out with the most, what I want to say, simple 101 things to be grateful for, you have no idea how much that's going to change your mindset, even to the fact of, well, I got to get in the shower because I got to go to work. No, it's like, man, I'm fired up. I got the ability to go to work. Because until you drive by the streets of downtown St. Louis and see those people who now wish they had those opportunities, there's people starving on the streets right now. So listen, let's drop down to some humility, okay? Let's be humble. Let's be grateful.
That's the main thing, man. Be humble.
For what we have.
Yeah. Because I tell you what, know-it-alls, they think they're really impressing people, but everyone's thinking, this guy's a whack. This guy's irritating. You know, I mean, unless I'm reading it wrong, but most people don't like know-it-alls. So be humble in life and be happy that you're able to live, man, because, you know, it's...
Tomorrow's not promised. We see that every day. Not. You know, and listen, Troy still has that spider on the ceiling in his bathroom. Ladies and gentlemen, can we just be kind to our neighbor? And listen, sometimes I play the music loud. I'm not so kind to my neighbor. Sometimes, you know, I show a little bit more flesh in the pool. I'm not so kind to my neighbor. But in heart, my pool's open to the neighbors, you know. Let's just be kind.
You never invited me.
You're always welcome.
Okay, well.
Always welcome. So, ladies and gentlemen, Troy, I've got to tell you, thank you so much for coming. Because, listen, earlier you said whether you're pissing some people off. You're not. I want all my guests to know you could be open, accountable, and vulnerable here, because when I speak, it might not be resonating to people.
Listen, these guys that came into the show, they're the real deal, okay?
Yes.
I'm just the substitute teacher. You know, I'm just the substitute.
No. So what Troy's saying is anyone who comes on the show...
And that's not feigned humility. That's how I feel.
Well, I'm very grateful to have you here.
So, that was fun.
If you want to be a guest, I would love to have you. You can reach out, trust on RiverBender@gmail.com, or, of course, check us out on Facebook. There's a tab there where you could book to be a guest. I would love to hear from you. And if you don't feel like you've got anything to share, but something's weighing on your heart and on your mind, please, I encourage you to come on there.
Oh, yeah.
So as we sign out, happy birthday, Mom. And if you were only listening today, can I please, not because I need the views, but can I please encourage you to come back and watch the episode? I sure hope you like the clips, just like Troy's laughing right there. So on Troy, on 3, we're going to count to 3, and the name of the show, I want you to shout out with me. You remember the name of the show?
The name of the show we're on now?
Yes. So on 3.
Yeah.